Hello everyone, Donnie here. I just wanted to come on and give you some recommendations or more or less a why you should read Stephen King and three books that I think are good examples of why. The first is The Shining. Um, Obviously, many people have seen the movie. Stanley Kubrick directed. It's a great movie, but the book is completely different. The book takes the character of Jack Torrance, and you get a lot more humility, humanity out of him. He's not just a crazy person, an alcoholic. He's a dad, and he has a past that he struggles with. And once they get to the Overlook, the hotel itself kind of gets its hooks into him. This is going to be spoiler free, so I'm just trying to I'm off script here, just trying to make sure I don't give anything away. But yeah, the book just gives you even more of like Danny, his internal dialogue, and he's a very interesting character for Stephen King to be writing a character I think who's 5 or 6 years old. It seems realistic. It kind of seems like the mind of a 5 or 6 year old who is precocious and going through this, kind of terrible but eventually controllable issue that he has known as the Shine. The next book I'd recommend is Eyes of the Dragon. Eyes of the Dragon is a purely fantasy, kind of almost young adult book by Stephen King. And I would say anyone who's not into horror or thinks of Stephen King as just a horror author, that The Eyes of the Dragon is a good book for you to read because it's pure fantasy. It was actually written for his daughter. It's kind of, I don't know how to explain it other than like that classic, almost King Arthur kind of story, kings, princes, corruption, evil. Like there's a character that comes up in this book. I'm not going to give it away. That he returns in other books, and is an important character within the King universe. It's a good book for younger people. Again, if you don't like horror or if you're a little bit younger, and you're looking for a book to read by Stephen King, I think Eyes of the Dragon is a great place to start. And then finally, my favorite book of all time is The Stand by Stephen King. I've actually only read the extended version, which has some edits. The original book took place in the 70s. The edits in that book add, it takes place in the 80s and add some pop culture references from the 80s. Again, I'm not going to give anything away other than the fact that there is a virus. It kills, 99 plus percent of the people on Earth. And the book is about rebuilding society. And there is a very strong theme of good versus evil. There is a clearly very good character and a very evil character. And in between, there are a million characters. This book has so many characters with so much backstory. I think that's actually the best part about the book is just the character work, their inner dialogue, their external dialogue when they're interacting with people. You get a lot of their thoughts and how they feel and why they feel that way. You see a lot of their struggles. You really connect to a lot of the characters in this book. It's a very, very, very good book. Again, it's not the most horrific or a horror book. There are horror elements. There are scenes in this book that are scary. Obviously, it's about a virus that kills a lot of people. I read it during COVID, so for whatever reason that didn't really get to me. But it is obviously it's not a kid's book. It's a book that has some pretty intense moments. But again, I would recommend The Stand to anyone. I know it's a long book, but that never bothered me. If you want to read it in chunks, read it in between reading another book never bothered me. I'll jump from TV show to TV show, so I don't really have a problem with that, but some people do. But I would say stick with The Stand, get the uncut version, get immersed in it, and let the character work and kind of just the really intense atmosphere draw you into the story, and then you will not be able to put it down. So those are my three books: The Shining, Eyes of the Dragon, and The Stand that I would recommend for new King readers. And I know, again, people are going to say, why would you recommend The Stand? It's so long. The Stand was probably the third book I ever read by King. And again, it is still my favorite book I've ever read by him. It is probably my favorite book of all time. So I can't recommend it enough. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.